All right, y'all. Here we are. I'm by myself. Tiffelbot is struggling with her camera. There she
I
goes.
didn't hear any. The music didn't play for me,
Oh, really? It played for me, so I'm
so
sorry
I was
about that.
like, "Oh, I
What's going on?
no cue,
Technical
no
difficulties.
cue."
Yeah. So, yeah, we're still experimenting with this thing, guys. And we just tired of looking like fools week after week. So, so we are back, and hopefully this thing doesn't say. I've been doing a lot of like trying to like do a bunch of tweaking and stuff like that to try to get this thing going, and so hopefully everything worked out. Welcome to Fans of Patrol. My name is Montago. With me is my adorable co-host, Miss Tiffelbot, saying hello, salutations, and what up to the people.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Indeed, man. So this week, man, I mean, we're taking it easy. We got some things to talk about. We did go see Fantastic Four. I should have had an echo behind that. Four. And we've been waiting to talk about this one. I have been waiting to talk about this more, probably more so than anyone. This is my most anticipated movie of the season, more so even than
Oh,
Superman. Yep. I said it.
ooh,
That said it at the beginning of the year. This is the one I've been waiting to see.
ooh la la.
And so we're going to talk about a little FF Fans of Patrol and the Fantastic Four. Our superhero group talking about their superhero group. Anyway, man. So we're going to do that. We also want to some other stuff I want to talk about. I mean, not big things, but we're going to talk a little Spider-Man Brand New Day, even though it doesn't come out to July 31st, 2026. But I want to say something. also,
Oh,
also a
okay.
little bit more Comic-Con news. I did end up seeing every trailer that had came out, and it was just as pitiful as we talked about last week.
I thought you were gonna say
So,
something different.
no, there's nothing different, man. It's pretty pitiful, Tiffelbot. So what we're gonna do is, I mean, I want to talk about one trailer, but you'll understand the significance of that, in a minute. Plus, well, we could just get into it. So, you know, some of the trailers on there, it's really weird this year, Tiffelbot. I don't know if hopefully the con is doing well, right? Hopefully
Yeah.
cons are doing well. Because I haven't been to a con since pandemic. I went to a con right before the pandemic, and when nobody knew nothing about the pandemic, and we were in that death trap with people, and
Yes. Just
but it was weird though because they had signs everywhere, and it was before they could really, figure out social distancing. But they was trying to, they had like little bitty signs posted all over the place like band-aids, like, and it was just like, try not to touch, shake hands, blah blah blah.
don't look at anyone too long.
Exactly, and so it was weird. So I haven't went back to a con since then. And cons were, in my opinion, at that point felt like it was peaking. It was at the
Yeah.
pinnacle of the pinnacle, and probably it had a lot to do with some of the movies that were out. Stuff that we had never seen before, like the Avengers. We'd never seen a bunch of movie stars in a big movie with with heroes we've been waiting to see on a major screen since we were kids. So that was how you gonna do bigger than that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have been waiting for that. And here's the other thing: they didn't even have to put major stars in it. That's the funny thing about it, right? We would have been totally fine with the quality of the movie the way it was with nobodies, like an old Star Wars. We would have been fine with that, but they wowed us even more. And Rob,
Yeah.
well, and maybe that wasn't even intentional because Robert Downey Jr. was nobody's star when he was
When
Iron
he was
Man. By the
Iron Man.
time
That's right. That's our redemptive arc.
exactly Avengers, yes, he was now the Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans wasn't even shit until after a while. I remember when he started
And
out.
these movies have been so going on so long now
Man, we talking like
that, like,
13 years and
yeah, we're
stuff.
talking like a whole trajectory of a career changes.
Exactly, but I think cons kind of peaked. Now, I have no statistics. I'm not about to sit up here and say cons are going down according to Montago from Fans of Patrol. But I just haven't been to any. And so they did this con, and I'm saying all this stuff. I know I'm a little long-winded, y'all. Just hang on here with me for a second. They got rid of E3, which was a crushing blow to a person like me
Very
when it happens.
depressing, very sad, awful.
Yes, even though we didn't like the trajectory of where the cons was going, I will never forget Sony sitting there with that guy with that lute sitting there playing that bing 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 bing, bing and for that Japanese game, and it was all just. It was like, wait a minute, where is this E3? What are we doing? Right? It was they were doing weird shit. That was like one of their last forays out there, and then all of a sudden, I think Nintendo ruined it because they really wasn't offering that much at the time, but they kept doing a separate shit, right?
Right.
We're gonna do it on Wednesday, the whole, and we're not even going to the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
And then that started them all doing their own shows away from the convention center. And then the convention center was just, they ruined it, and then it's gone, right? Poof. Something that we grew up with that was so cool, it's gone, never to come back. And video games, I think at this point, it seems like an industry in major trouble to me, Tiffelbot. What would you think?
Big trouble.
What are some of your thoughts on that?
Layoffs.
Mhm.
They're like, I was, watching some news about this the other day, and the discussion of like the whole potential destruction of your like ability to do this, because a lot of times people will like learn from somebody who has done it before, even if they've already been trained. So you're just like, it's like intellectual graveyard where people are like gonna lose the ability to even make good IPs. I mean, I know everyone is very interested in like the games we get a lot of and stuff like that, but
are they?
I'm not, but like I know a lot.
I mean,
I don't want to.
Think about it though. Are they? Everybody, not people even I know, people that I know, and people that I don't know. It seems like everybody's playing older games, stuff that they're comfortable with. I mean, what new stuff has come out? All the new shit that has come out has, like, not all, but most of it has been a major disappointment. I cannot remember that game that me and Beat 'em Down from Code 45 was playing, where they had the Iron Man suits, and we were so excited for that game, and it basically was the demo over and over and over, and they never finished the game, and it's offline now. I cannot remember. If anybody's watching and knows that game, let me know the name of that damn game. But I forgot the name of that game. But then they came out with like not Afropunk, that one game with Keanu Reeves, that the something punk. They came out with that damn game.
Cyberpunk 20.
Cyberpunk, that, and
that was such a huge buildup too, and then it was just kind of like a sad firework.
Right. And the other game, Anthem is the game I was talking about. Anthem was the worst goddamn game I've ever. Anthem changed my buying patterns with video games because no, I'm dead serious.
I'm not laughing I'm laughing because this is a sad situation.
Yeah, I mean, I would pre-buy at that point. I would, do the dumb shit. I would go, stand in line. I was doing all that stuff for the games. And when Anthem hit, and after I just felt like I just got butt effed over the coals, I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this ever again. I'm not buying a new game. And, it reminds me, I bought the Star Wars games that came out with Cal Kestis. So they were dope games, both of them. But then they came out with that third one last year, and I wasn't having it. I was like, let me check out the reviews. Let me look at this stuff. I never bought that game. And I heard the game was hot trash. And that's the kind of shit they keep doing. And then they want the mega edition, $169, and the $120.
And they're asking for that shit. What I don't get is they'll have the rate, and but it's downloadable. It's like, you want me to pay another $100
for air
digital? Like, I understood back when you would pay and you'd get like art books and
a statue. I had a couple of Halo statues that was dope.
Yeah, and now they're like, you pay $100, you get the DLC and a exclusive ammo and armor or some shit, and you're like, no, not for $100 real world dollars.
Yeah. And so I can't imagine video games. And don't get me started on 76, Fallout 76. I bought that thing. It was hot trash. I heard the game is playable now, but
yeah, why am I still, why
playable? And it's like 5-6 years old now.
Right.
Now it's playable, So
I feel like a lot of games get released, and then they're like, we'll fix it, we'll patch it. I'm like, no, motherfucker, fix it before you release it.
Right,
a patch should be, unless you're giving me more stuff.
Yeah, I mean, a bit. So I have I think like you, I have a Xbox and a PS5, right?
I have a PS5, yeah.
And I'm like, the last couple games I played I'm playing The Last of Us 2 now, and it's taking me forever to get through because it's depressing as hell. It's a great game, but it's depressing as hell. And I played Last of Us 1. These were the remastered editions. Everything I've been doing has been the remastered edition. I bought The Witcher 3, which came out damn near 10 years ago. It's remastered, so I said, let me get that. And I mean, that's what I hear a lot of other people doing. And so they killed the industry with their foolishness. I think the Nintendo 2, the Switch 2 is coming out. And I really want to get it because my daughters didn't let me play with the ones that I bought for them. I bought the goddamn thing for them and they never let me play with it, maybe once on Christmas, So I was like, well, I can get this and maybe I can. But you know what I said to myself, Tiff? I said, I can go back and get the old Mario games that I missed. Right? Because I know those will be rock solid, but everything else is like hot trash. We didn't come here to talk about this, but transitioning back to where I was going with cons, the downfall of the industry to me came with, the cons, declining, with getting rid of E3 and stuff like that. Now, I don't know. It's so weird. Was it too much pressure for them to have a demo ready for E3? You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I was first going to cons, and this was long ago when it wasn't even as socially acceptable as it is now, which is questionable, but a lot more people do it.
Yeah.
It was more like the late 90s, early 2000s, where you would go to a con because you literally couldn't get that stuff anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like there would be things you couldn't get, things
for
you
sure.
could find out about.
All this little bullshit, these little dolls and stuff like that. That was con stuff.
Yeah,
you're right.
You had to go, or like, and I went to a lot of anime conventions, so they would have like stuff, access to stream things that I'd never seen or heard of before because it was a whole group of people who were illegally downloading it from the internet, but like there was access because everybody was sharing it, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like maybe it's part of like everybody can get what they need anytime or what they want. Like you can just get online. You don't have to search for it anymore. You don't have to find some weird smelly guy at a con who taped an episode of some show you wanted.
He's a smelly guy.
1993. You know what I mean? It's like these people can buy whatever they want. They find out news wherever, so it's not like the only thing is the kind of camaraderie. And I think that's probably why we saw, like what we were talking about, there was more of a focus on like, here were cool outfits that we saw. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the people who were there, not like the famous people.
Yeah. And it was the only place in the world that you can go buy, honest to God, sword. Yeah. It's like, give me the sword. Yeah. But every time I see somebody walking out with one of those swords, I just, damn, what you're gonna do with that sword? You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do with that sword, man?
Impress people.
Exactly. So then, back to Comic-Cons. Oh, okay. So back to the Comic-Con. So they released some videos at the con last week. One of them was that movie War of the Worlds. They're redoing that.
Oh yeah.
Can't even say it's Tom Cruise because he did it back in the 50s. The movie was a phenomenon because people actually thought aliens was invading Earth and stuff like that when it was first released, because it was on the radio and all that stuff. And, famous for that. That movie is already out on Prime with starring Ice Cube, who fuck him. I'm no fan of Ice Cube, but I just like, damn, y'all just advertised it last week.
Yeah, I didn't even.
Yeah.
Like Whiplash.
Yeah, I was like, you guys waited to the last minute. I mean, was that?
Did you hear about this project? Here, have the DVD. It's free.
Right, here it is. Check it out. Check it out. Now, I want to bring up something else because also something that came out was a trailer for, what was the name of it? Remember Eyes of Wakanda? They had been talking about that. It was in the lineup for Marvel for the longest. They was like, Eyes of Wakanda is coming, blah, blah, blah. And I thought it was going to be a live action thing. Tiff. Apparently, no, it's not. And I'm gonna even hit you one even better. This is the trailer for it. It's out. I watched the first episode and a half last night. I mean,
they were like, "Here, you can watch this right now."
I'm so confused, Tiff, because the con happened last week. The con concluded last week, and then this came out. This is the second episode. I was almost finished with the second episode. So it's like 4 standalone episodes of Wakanda back in history. Not like the Black Panther. It's like the first story starts in like 1260, not to spoil nothing. It's the first thing you see, 1260 BC. You know what I'm saying? So it's different parts in time and it's about their spy network and stuff like that. But Tiff, Comic-Con was last week. Right? Comic-Con was last week, and it's like, poof, there's a trailer. poof, you can turn it on right now, and you can see all 4 episodes.
They just start rolling you right in. You know, like Comic-Con just ends and just starts the Eyes of Wakanda.
We're gonna have this big ass con, spend millions of dollars on it, so you can, walk out of here immediately, because we're gonna lose you if we say it's coming out next year, and we're gonna give it to you immediately.
Yes, because you'll forget. Have you ever had the experience, like in your early working days, or known someone where you're supposed to go talk about something you don't know in time, and so you have to just kind of cobble together the things that you've been working on? You're like, this thing. We've been doing Eyes of Wakanda.
Yeah, it's actually going live right now. So
no.
So I guess this was last year's project, not this year's project.
Because I've been working on stuff, I promise.
I know. Well, so what I will say about the project so far is that Wakanda Forever really turned me off my own people's movie, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's been so down on Wakanda, and I, didn't give a shit. But the first episode was good. It's not kiddie at all. And I'm gonna say something else, Tiffelbot. How come they got blood and stabbies in this cartoon?
Because it's not real.
But they wouldn't even do it in the movies, Tiffelbot. I mean, splashy, stabby in the cartoon.
Yeah.
But in the movie, you sitting there stabbing everybody, and then at the end, everybody get up. Yeah. But he was stabbed 17 times,
Well, I feel like there's that weird disconnect between cartoon violence, which it's whatever, but like they're like, oh, it's they already know it's fake. I'm like, if someone's struggling that way, they don't necessarily do. But I'm fine with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the violence was not over the top, but it was just enough. It's what you would expect with people with knives and spears and swords.
The whole time, here's the problem. The whole time you're talking to me, I'm just staring at that. It looks pretty.
Oh, it was. It really was.
It's very pretty. So I'm just like, you're like talking, and I'm like,
So my point is, what's going on in the movie industry? Because another thing happened, man. I don't know if you're aware of this. Like, and guys, we're gonna get to the main topic, but Superman comes on streaming August 15th. What's today? Today is August 3rd. Superman came out 2 weeks ago. God damn, Hollywood. He hit the $500 million mark, and that was it. It was like, all right, no, rush it, pack it, ship it.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's an at-home release.
Holy shit, Tiffelbot. I could have just watched it at home. Guys, don't do this. Y'all doing the inverse. You're making a mistake. What are your thoughts?
I can no longer tell what a good money-making move in Hollywood is, because this could be them saying, okay, we've got everyone who's going to come to the theater. We have to pop it out while it's still buzzing to get those at-home $20 rentals, plus the people who have gone to the theater and want to watch it again.
Yeah, I would imagine. And then what? How long will it be before it's on HBO Max? September?
I'm going to say that's the next. I think that all depends on HBO Max saying, wow, we could give them X million, and then maybe scrape in some of those viewers for ourselves. Man, that's a delicate game. But shouldn't be what you're thinking of.
Well, you know what I'm thinking, Tiffelbot. I'm sitting here like, well, maybe the next time a Superman movie come out,
just sit on my ass and wait.
Yeah, shit. Give me 4 weeks. That's all I got. 4 weeks.
Not have to go to the theater and smell someone else's hot dog.
How to smell somebody else's hot dog? You ain't never gonna let that go.
I think about that even when we're not. Every time I see a hot dog, I'm like, damn shame. Ow.
She ain't never gonna let it go, y'all. But I'm just go ahead. No, it's all good. But I'm just like, wow, man. The industry is in flux, Tiffelbot, and we knew that for a while, right? Because of COVID messed it all up for everybody, right? But this industry here, the movie made $500 million, and look, you got a couple 2 weeks, and now it's gonna be at home. I don't even know if I'm complaining, but I'm just like, damn, are you guys gonna turn a bunch of people into me's and be like, I'll just give it a couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying?
I think
and not go to the theater. But to be so soon, for good reference, I have not seen the last Mission Impossible. I really wanted to see it in the theaters. The last one before that, I wanted to see it in theaters. I saw it at home. It was phenomenal. The movie was great. Not the latest one, but the part one of this one. It was phenomenal. I wish I would have seen it in theaters. I'm kind of pissed I did. And then the other one was in theaters. Seemed like a hot minute, and then it was gone. But they're not releasing that until the end of this month, and I think it came out in May. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, how do you gauge? How do you figure this shit out? You know, what do you wait for? You know,
there's probably
it made a bunch of money too. Yeah,
like that probably contracts and weird things we don't even think about as well. But I felt like Scissors came out really quickly on streaming.
I did too. It was out maybe I think a month and a half or something like that, and then it was
pretty quickly onto like free streaming.
And it's free streaming like a fan. I was like, God damn it! I paid for that movie, and there it is for free on HBO Max. I was so pissed. I was like, I just paid for that damn movie. You know what I'm saying? And not that I thought it would be out a little bit more time, and I did want to support the Black Project. To get some cash, but I don't even know when you buy it on streaming, are you supporting who gets that money?
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
Thing. I don't know. I'd like to think the deal probably cuts, right? So like they pay, you get that money, and then whatever money they make is just theirs. But like, I know there's like, okay, I don't know how it works. I know that they've talked about it, but like artists or like actors would get money if they were like in syndication on like TBS Friends, for instance. They would get money for every time the episode aired.
But sometimes a little bit of money, because I heard one actress is a black actress, and the black actors really, to me, sounds like they get shafted above all. The lady used to play on Martin, I think she said she get 2 cents an episode when it's. I know you can play that some bitch all you want, and I ain't never gonna make no money off of it.
And you probably don't even want to take your $6 check to the bank to cash it because you'll waste that much gas.
And she was a major character on it, not a background character. She was like the core. What do you call it? How should I say? Ensemble. And 2 cents an episode.
Thank you.
Like,
oh my
god. Yeah.
That's not even enough to be like, well, it's something.
The check costs more than it is than what you're getting paid. Yeah. So I don't know how this stuff works. I remember growing up, in America, because I am from America, right? And I remember thinking that everybody in the movies and everybody was on TV. In real life, they must be movie stars, because they must be rich, right? I used to think that as a kid, because then you see like every time all the glamorous bullshit that they used to do with the Oscars and stuff. Anytime you saw movies, they would always like try to have that image like they were just like it, which is a mistake because then people don't feel like you need to get paid nothing. I would be coming out looking rusty, I don't care how much money I was making, like, man, they need to pay me. Y'all love that. I was an Academy Award. Y'all loved it, didn't you? I ain't get shit. But so the Ice Cube War of the Worlds is out, and Eyes of Wakanda is out 1 week after the announcement at Comic-Con. Damn. Matter of fact, Ice Cube didn't even make it the full week. I looked up and saw that last.
Didn't even get the full week.
I think it came out the same week as the Comic-Con. I was like,
they're like, sure, guys, you can watch it like as soon as you want.
It's right now. And so it's just interesting.
Isn't the con afraid that people are just going to get up out of their seats and leave? So they go home and watch these movies and shows.
Probably not, I guess, because people there's so many different type of people at the con, but they're all there for something, right? You got the Star Watchers that's there, you got the cosplayers that's there, you got the professional cosplayers that's there. You got the comic book fans that's there, that want to meet their comic stars. So many people are there for so many. You got the people who are there just for the collectibles and the dolls,
That's true. Gotta get
and so you just never know why they are there and how many people are there for the movie trailers. I'm sure some people there for that, but I don't think everybody's there for that, And so I think they will continue to make money. Maybe not that's the way they used to, like when the Avengers and all that shit was coming out in them cons. Them cons was huge. You couldn't even get in them at that point in time, And then the actual stars, they were coming to the cons, like the big stars and stuff. And I imagine they still are, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
there were stars at this one.
Yeah. I mean, but wasn't no movies coming. What was the dope movie? You know what I'm saying? Tron Ares is coming out, and that's gonna be dope for me. Yeah. But me and Dwayne is excited.
My little
Maybe
sister
only me
also
and
loves
Dwayne.
Tron.
Yeah.
She can't wait.
No. So anyway, man, let's move on. What else? Something else that debuted. I think this debuted. Was this weekend or
It was a couple days ago.
the 31st?
Mhm.
Tiff, there's a quick little introduction of Spider-Man Brand New Day. You know, they did the teaser thing. It's a year out. And so normally the big hero movies from back in the day, like Batman and shit, they would give you the year out trailer. Most of the time it didn't have, I remember the Batman movie with Michael Keaton didn't even have music in it. It was just a bunch of, who are you? Because they had no music, you know what I'm saying? And so they didn't even put music in it. And so it's a year out. And so they have it's this thing with Tom Holland, right? He's got the mask off and he's bouncing around, and you know he's like he's ready to go, and he was like, "You guys coming?" And that's it. You should show him, and you know that's it. I'm gonna play, and I want to know your thoughts. Okay, I'm gonna play.
Okay, I'm ready to look.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Hold up. Here we go. Here we are. Yeah, just check this out. Hopefully we won't get struck. But we're live, so they can only get me afterwards.
We ready?
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, I want to talk about
Look
something.
at this little man.
How different does this little bastard look, right?
Little man.
It's like he went through puberty. He was already a man when he was playing Peter Parker. He was like 19 years old. I think when he got the role. When he got the role, I think he was like 19.
Maybe his frontal lobe developed.
Tiff, how much growing? Look at this guy, dude.
He looks.
You ready?
Yeah.
He's a grown goddamn. He don't even look like the same person.
He looks. You know who he kind of looks like is that guy from New Girl, Nick. What's his face?
Oh, I don't know who. Oh, you think so?
Yeah, and this
put a little scrub on him.
Still right here.
Put a little scrub. Tiff,
little scruff.
If I wouldn't have heard his voice, I would have been like, did they cast somebody else? I didn't hear about that. He don't look the same to me, Tiff. I'm sorry, man. I don't know. Maybe he don't look the same to me.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that he doesn't look like his anymore.
Who is that man? And what is he doing with Zendaya?
Why is this man at my house?
Who is Zendaya cheating on with now? Who is this guy?
Okay, so I do want to talk about the suit.
Okay.
Apparently it's a new suit.
It looks.
Did you clock that? Because
it's a Spidey suit, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
it said but the trailer. Did your trailer not say new suit reveal or some shit like that? Mine did.
Okay, so at the end of the movie, yes, it did. At the end of the last movie, the blue. Oh, I'm like using the pointer and nobody can see it. So the blue right there was like really shiny. It was like that shimmery, shiny blue. It looked terrible, you know. And that's just it showed it just him coming off the out of the donut shop with Mary Jane or whatever,
sure, yeah,
rolling around, and you know, and it was like reflective blue, you know. They showed the old suit and the Spidey on the chest is a lot smaller. Subtle shit. It's still a classic suit,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I thought I kind of have a problem anyway, where like unless the suit is so drastically different, I hardly remember. I'm not going to.
Well, it was. Well, let me say this: the first suit with the Tony Stark, the spider on the chest, kind of looked digital, and there was like some digital black sleeves, so it was more like they had a lot more black in it and stuff. And so it was the suits in the previous movies. None of them was the actual classic Spider-Man suit. And this one is, you know, it's, in my opinion, this one looks like the one that's in the comics that we're used to seeing more than any times, even though he gets new suits every time the wind blows. But look at that puss.
Every time
the wind blows. But Tiff, look at that mush. Look at that puss. He's a different man. He's
a different man.
He went through puberty since the last movie. The dude looks so different. What is he, 45 now? Because I know he's a lot older, man. That's
I
for
don't
sure.
know. Is he 30?
He was 19, I believe. I'm
looking it up. I got
90% sure he was 19 when he first did the thing. So it's been 3-4 movies since then, because you got to remember, he's got it. He looked like a 30-year-old man. So he's playing a younger 20 something, obviously, which is really cool what they did with this character. And I'll just say this: it's really cool because they are now able to say, hey, we did the teenage, I love the teenage years Spidey, but now you can give us the J. Jonah Jameson struggling college student
Yeah,
Spidey,
yeah,
that we
yeah.
love him too. I don't like that Spidey got a daddy and he's married to Mary Jane and he got a little kid and all this other shit. I don't like that Spider-Man. It's too old. Too old. You know what I'm saying?
It's too old.
You just got to get to a point you got to start them back over. And I think
Yeah.
all comics should do that. I think you should get to a point in the history where the shit just gets so ridiculous and y'all start doing shit like we're gonna have the White Panther, like because Marvel is doing that right now. He's a white boy. He's right. You know what's time? It's time to start all over. It's time to start all over. Hit the switch, right? And start it from the beginning again. I don't mind that, Tiff, because you can do it a little different, but reimagine without it going too far crazy and use the things that's happening today to put into the new stories and stuff. And I don't know. So anyway, let me take this off the screen. Look at that mush. Look at it. He is so different. Man, I was like, who is that guy?
Who's that guy?
Yeah. So anyway, I think he has another movie after this, or maybe I think is it 3 more movies after this?
Oh, Spider-Man movies?
Well, I think I know it. I know it's 2.
That's too many Spider-Men.
I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. I think you had 3 movies. If you do it this way, it'll be cool for me and to me. For me and to me by me. No. You had the teenage Spider-Man in the teenage years. You had Civil War. You had and 3 actual Spider-Man movies. It was all teeny, learning how to be a man. Loved it. We loved the teenage Spider-Man. You could do 3 movies with him being the adult Spider-Man. And that would be cool. Because that's
like this
like now
newspaper Spider-Man, yeah,
right, like the Tobey Maguire, older Spider-Man. I don't want to see a third rendition where now he's old man Spidey.
Yeah, right,
I don't want to see that. But you can do that now. You can have 3 movies because essentially nobody knows who the hell he is, right? And so this is people learning Peter Parker. Nobody knows who this is, unless they're gonna like retcon the whole thing with Doctor Strange. Because I did watch Riri Williams, and they did have Mephisto on Riri Williams, and who actually in the comic books did the whole Spider-Man. Nobody knows who Spider-Man is, and then he did it originally, and the name of that series was Brand New Day. When he
There's some detective work happening here.
Well, I remember just reading the shit out of this shit, because I loved it at the time, and I remember I was so pissed when he revealed his identity, fooling around with Tony Stark, and then Civil War happened, and Tony screwed him, and immediately as soon as he did it, like he had to go. Aunt May was like living in Stark Tower and all this shit because everybody went to go kill his people, and so Mephisto made a deal, but I think he made a deal, not even making a deal. Like, you don't have to do nothing. The only thing that's going to happen is you and Mary Jane will not be in love anymore. She won't know who. She, and so he was like, oh no, but he did it because, So he thought he was just going to spend his time and get to know her. I don't think they ever got back together. I don't know. I haven't been reading comic books in a long time. Somebody's going to lampoon me for saying it. Read your books, punk.
You can help us out. Let us know.
Yeah. So anyway, man, that's enough of that. I just thought that was interesting. I thought his face changed so much. You don't really see that with. Just wow, damn. Being 19 and 20s, you thought his face kind of was where it was going to be.
Right?
Now
Yeah.
He changed again. Anyway. Yeah. Baby growing up. Anyway. Yeah. So man, let's talk a little Fantastic Four, right?
We did it.
So I'm gonna do something special here. Nope. Stop it. Anyway, so let me get my stuff up, Tiff. So we went to the movies, man, to see this thing. Tiff saw it earlier than me. I was surprised. I'm typing in why does the shitty Fantastic Four come up first?
Well, they want you to watch that one.
The real shitty one, not the one in the 80s, the one with Michael B. Jordan and stuff. That one come up first. Yeesh. Anyway, man, let's talk a little Fantastic Four. So, what does it say? 2025, PG-13, 1 hour, 54 minutes, forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of the family bond. The Fantastic Four must defend Earth from its ravenous space god called Galactus and his enigmatic herald, Silver Surfer. Scott Shankman directed this, and I don't even know who Scott Shankman is, but who's in
Nope.
this movie, Jeff?
Yeah, it's Pedro Pascal. Everybody loves him.
I heard a lady say, "I'm getting tired of Pedro Pascal." I was
Get
like,
the
"What?
fuck out of here. Get the
What?"
fuck out.
Yeah,
Out.
she was super young. I was like, "Get the hell out of here! The man can do
We're
anything.
done with you.
He can do anything, damn it."
Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah.
Eben Moss
Yes.
Backrack.
Yeah. Any relation to Scott Backrack?
Who knows?
No, his name is Scott Backrack.
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 Backrack. It's hard to say for me. Backrack. Joseph Quinn. That's the guy. The
Yeah,
from
Johnny
Stranger
Storm.
Things.
Stranger Things.
He
He's
was the
that was Eddie, right?
Hellfire Cub. Yeah,
He was
yeah,
Eddie.
that's
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Julia Garner. That's Silver Surfer. Sarah Niles. Mark Gatiss. Natasha Lyonne. She's in this movie for a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, Ralph Innocent as Galactus.
Yeah, I could even recognize his face even in that thing. I was like, I know exactly who you are. So anyway, man, let's get into it, man. So I don't know, man. Let me see. So before we go any further, it's time for one word.
Yeah, one word.
Oh shit. Okay. So Tiff, one word. What you got?
Yeah, my one word is chill.
Chill. Explain. Your one words have been very interesting lately, man.
So I went to this movie and I wasn't even sure really what to expect because I remember watching the trailer and thinking, yeah, okay. And we've been disappointed by so many Fantastic Four films in the past.
Yes.
So
although I think I was too dumb to realize that the first Fantastic Four film was terrible at the time, but with my age and my maturity, I was
wisdom.
like, "Oh, this is okay." I think.
You're like,
go ahead.
So, I think I was ambivalent going into this movie because just kind of thinking I'm gonna let the experience happen to me.
Okay.
And like the palette of this movie, the sets that they have and the time period. It's an alternate Earth, right? We're not on Earth, whatever we are.
Our Earth is 816. That was
I knew
828.
And so it's kind of like a mod vibe. And so it's like, even if I remember watching this movie thinking that my friend Jessie, who doesn't she would not want to sit through a regular superhero movie, might like watching this just because it had such a kind of a chill overtone to the look of everything, like a mod vibe.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, well, my one word, and I thought about this, and I was like, "Oh, my one word is going to be this," And I was like, "No, my one word is going to be this." My one word is synchronicity, and I'm going to explain that. Okay, because for the first time in a long time, I feel like one of these movies in the Marvel universe is perfectly synced. On the good track, on the better track, to be a clear successful to how great Marvel used to be. And not these shitty movies that we didn't got over the last year or maybe 2 years. You know what I'm saying? We might have got one or two, maybe one this year, maybe one the year before that was actually good Marvel movies that gave you a good feeling coming out of it. Even though both of the last two Avenger movies literally had you coming out feeling like shit, at the end of it. Thanos killed everybody. All the good heroes are gone. You know what I'm saying? It's like, shitty, man. What's going on? But I had a good feeling coming out of this movie. This movie didn't disappoint for me. I'm very enthusiastically thumbs up in this movie. I dug it. I dug the look. I dug the character. When's the last time we had a Marvel movie that actually developed characters this well instead of just trying to make you and not a lot of slapstick humor just for the sake of having slapstick humor. You know what I'm saying? And so there's things that this movie did right, and it's things that this movie did different. And the way they were able to do it different was putting it in a different universe. And I predicted some things in this movie that did not happen, and I'm glad it didn't happen because it was like, well, good, because I saw that coming a mile away and it didn't even happen. Now, one of the things, okay, trying to hit the spoilers, is that I thought at the end of the movie, their Earth was doomed and it was over and it was gone. And it didn't happen. That would have been a reasonable explanation for them to be in our universe. Because spoiler again for the Thunderbolts, if you watch the Thunderbolts, they had the final scene in the movie was the Fantastic Four entering Earth's atmosphere in that big ship, saying, we are, visitors from another, dimension, blah blah blah, dee. So we knew they were going to get from that. If you stayed and watched, they were going to come to our universe. So anyway, man, let's get into it. So man, the movie starts hot, Tiff, and I like it. They did a catch up, and they did a catch up, and so yes, they did a whole catch up of their entire history, and didn't waste your time with a origin story. With the television show montage, catching the audience up.
I thought this was brilliant. This is just a touch of like what this movie does that does really, really well. Where like the Batman from the 60s, that would be like,
yeah,
and then stuff would fly up onto the screen.
Yeah. Batgirl is hanging by a thread. Batman and Robin, will they get there on time? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So they're like, and because of how they shoot the shots where they're like on the TV, coming off the TV, like they'll come like this happened right after, but it's all mashed up in a way that like catches you up without making you feel like Jesus Christ. Like the thing about it is that there's always this thought that somebody in the audience isn't going to know the origin story of the Fantastic Four, and they're going to be so fucking confused. We've all agreed to come to a superhero movie where we go, I get that. So this was a really fun way to like let people know how they got their powers.
Funny that you said that about, because I always feel that way too. Like everybody knows, but it was a little kid sitting next to me.
Yes.
And he was probably maybe 10. And he was mildly annoying. But when I was sitting there and they did the montage scene about showing them how they powered, I thought to myself, well, I guess not everybody knows the origin.
Well, I don't necessarily think they know. I just don't think they need to know.
Like when they have these superpowers. Well, I don't know. With some movies, it's a little different. Because they've done the origin story in Batman so many times on screen, you don't ever need to do that again. And Matt Reeves was like one of the first people that was like, look, we ain't showing no origin story. We ain't going to even do no flashbacks. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, cool. The Ben Affleck Batman did the flashbacks, but whatever. And then like with the Spider-Man, I don't know. They did the origin story.
They did it in Across the Universe.
Twice.
Or the
yeah, but don't nobody know. But his story is not that well documented though.
Right, but they do it well here, there as well.
They did.
It doesn't, as long as it doesn't like make you go, okay, I'm doing my homework assignment.
Yeah.
Before I watch this movie,
Unless it's going to be the entire point of the movie,
right?
And that's fine. Like with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, because you hadn't seen him on screen ever. You know what I'm saying? Other than, yes, you did. It was that shitty Spider-Man in the 70s. But I didn't mind some of them, but then like I know with the Batman, I was like, okay, enough of this shit. Even Michael Keaton Batman didn't do the origin story, so that was interesting, right? How even how old that movie is, it never did the origin story. So going back to this, they did that little thing that was really slick. And before we go any further, I just want to talk about a couple of things. The set designs, the sets, the cinematography, and the goddamn costumes. So holy moly.
So good.
Holy moly.
I couldn't, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you came into this movie, I hate superheroes, right? You hate superheroes. If you watch this movie on mute with like some jazz,
that's interesting.
Shit.
That should be like a challenge, right? Watching with some.
Yeah, you'd be like, it's nice. I like it. Yes, I just remember like watching the specific part where he's like in the house, and that every part has a different color, and everything is that color, like the lamps and the couches, and it's like, but it's also not visually overwhelming because whoever made it, they're making it look like art. It's very nice to look at.
Yeah, it was very James Bondy, like supervillain, layer. A lot of the stuff
It's
that you
just
saw.
so, but it's just you are
No, I'm
just
saying with all the
enchanted by
modern,
yes,
it was
yes.
old shit, but at the time they thought they were being
Yes.
ultra modern. You
Right,
know what
right,
I'm
right.
saying?
And they live in this like it's sort of like a futuristic 1960s, 1950s.
Definitely 50s, late early 60s. Definitely like so what I read was like the advances that they had was because of Reed Richards, because how
Right.
smart he
He could
was.
do
Like
a whole bunch of stuff.
the funniest thing I think I saw in this whole thing in set design was the Times Square screens, which were actually tube TVs. They were gargantuan tubes, and I was like, how much juice would that shit use, right? But fantastic job in set design, landscape, everything,
It was
man.
like
It was just
whoever's making this movie, you know what it felt like? They were having a good time.
yeah. Even with the I mean,
No
even
one was miserable.
with the um with the costumes, and not just the superhero costumes, but the reporters and
Mm-hmm.
the I love that 60s style, especially on women. They had like scarves and shit on their
It's just
neck and
that
shit
everybody
like that.
looks like a beautiful
Yeah.
flight attendant.
Yes, 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 exactly.
Like it's just like we're having a nice time.
And then bringing it back to the Fantastic Four uniforms, their costumes. What the best thing they did was they gave you more than one. It wasn't the same one every time they went out. And I was like, that's slick, man. You know what I'm saying? They did the old school. They did like a couple of renditions, and they just look good, man. What did you think about the thing?
So I struggle because I liked the character here and I like
Mm-hmm.
what they did with them, but the head is so small.
Oh, you thought the hair was this one?
It's the head's so small that like I'm like, what little pinhead.
Oh shit! I
And
thought he looked great. I mean,
I
CGI wise, I thought
yeah,
he
like
looked
it,
great, man.
other than that, it's such a petty complaint
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
but I just like I was like, is the head small?
He looked just like he does in the comic book. I mean,
I loved the okay, so I know that we're like it's hard because this movie has a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
things to
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that
Let's
aren't
just
like I
talk about
said.
it. Let's just talk about
But
it.
so they do this thing, especially with the thing, where they kind of have interstitials of the and it's always in the back. The kids are watching like a television show, a cartoon of the Fantastic Four that exists
Yeah,
in this
clever,
universe.
very
Yeah, it's
clever.
very very clever, and it kind of adds like we discussed last week, where it kind of does this pull where things are like the cars look a little too fake. So like you're already immersed in this sort of like fake world, and the cartoon gives that semblance. Like when you see them fighting, and it's the CGI. Like I thought this was the best Reed Richards. And I think they did a really good job with it because stretching out somebody, no matter if the CGI is 100% great, it looks a little goofy because people can't do that. And
Well, they
I
did it
think
really fast when
they
he
did it
did the thing.
fast, and they would do
Hmm.
things where they would like focus on the shoulder, then it's pulling out, and all of a sudden it's zoomed in on his hand. So you get that effect of the long stretch of the arm without that weird sort of disconnect your brain has.
Well, they
Where
also made him the hero that he should have been, and everybody knows in the Marvel universe that he's the smartest person in the universe, and because he's the smartest person in the universe, that's his real superpower. Let's just be
mhm,
real about it. And they played that up way more than they would have some damn stretch and gag or goofy thing.
right.
With the, I mean, they didn't even show him stretch all that much. He might
No,
stretch his hand to that side of the screen to
yes.
grab something. That
Right.
which what
It
you
w
would do. I
it
would
would
be the
always
laziest dude
in
in the
other
planet.
movies, they're just like, "Oh, I need a tissue," and he stretches his arm all the way across the room and
Yeah,
grabs
yeah,
one. But in this
yeah.
one, he's like, he stretches a little bit to right all the way out to this edge of the board. Just like slight stuff so that when
Pretty
you're
subtle.
fighting,
The most you saw was the fight at the
yes.
end, yeah, and when
And
he was
it's
like
you're
really
just
doing his
accepting of
thing.
it. And they do it really good. They do it piecemeal so that you're not like, this is overwhelmingly disconnecting me from reality. You know what I mean?
Well, what I liked about and not, just skipping to that the fight at the end was when he was doing all the stuff he was doing. There was great danger around him. There was soot. There was shrapnel. There was all kind of shit going on when he was doing all his little stretching stuff. He was in real danger in that. And normally you don't think he's in any danger. You know what I'm saying? You're just like,
Mhm.
oh God. But anyway, moving
When he
back.
was being stretched by Galactus,
Yeah, it felt like it
I
hurt.
was deeply uncomfortable. I was
Yeah.
like, this feels so bad.
Yeah, yeah, it did. It did. Um, so let's take it back to the beginning. So, you know, I love the relationships in this movie was phenomenal. It was I was so happy that they made Johnny and the Thing more like pals, like they
Hmm.
are in the comic books, opposed to the big brother little brother relationship they did earlier in the other movie. You know, where the second and the third Fantastic Four. I like that dynamic. It was hilarious. The Chris Evans, probably one of the best things about those movies was how they was just Johnny was just on his nerves all the time. I didn't have any problem with it, but this felt better to me. This felt more respectful, you know, because it gets to a point that even in those movies, you're like, damn, do we even respect him? You know what I'm saying?
You don't like him.
Right, but I felt great respect and great love for, between these two characters, between all the characters.
Nobody. Okay, this is such a because I understand why you would be really sad because things are difficult for you, and there was a little bit like he's a little bit bummed because he's the Rock Man basically, but
Right.
like it wasn't bogged down. There was still like a lot of joyful moments for all of the characters to the point where you're not like, God, this makes me feel fucking sad.
And the reason why, the reason how they achieved that, Tiff, is that like when he was walking down the street looking sad with his little cookies, and then when kids started being like, he like, I love the kids. He lift up the car for him. He's not being a dick. You know, that's like, yes, I'm a rock creature, but look, I can still do cool shit, and the kids love me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really, really, really well done.
You can show me that a character carries pain and sadness without dragging me down into it during a fluffy superhero movie. My God.
Which is what they did really poorly in the 90s.
Very upsetting.
Yeah, because it overwhelmed the whole thing. The whole movie was like about changing them back and stuff.
Lay down, I'm sad.
I know. I know. So Sue Storm was very different than any other Sue Storm. She was Mom Storm. Mm-hmm. It was very interesting. I have a question
about this. Yes. I feel like I read a comic maybe set in. Don't they have two kids? They do have twins.
They do, and the girl is smarter.
Right.
It was they weren't twins.
But
first came Franklin. Franklin was the first child.
Not twins. Okay.
No, Franklin was the first child. And he even had his own comic book after he started getting older called Power Pack and shit, you know, where he was like teaming up with these little mutant kids. But they had the Future Foundation, which was flooded with extraordinary kids and creature kids. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, they had this school, and, you know, Sue is kind of known as the mother of, you know, of the heroes because she has her kid. I can't remember their daughter's name, but she's smarter than Reed. In the comic book,
yeah,
she came out like
remember that. Yeah,
he has powers and she's just like Buck Rogers, you know, with smarts and stuff. And so, you know, you can do a lot going forward with these movies, man. Mm-hmm. You know, and I was just sitting there like, man, this has so much potential, and I think they did such a good job. You know, so then we get Galactus, right, which could have been an unmitigated disaster like it has been in the other movies, or it could have been something cool. So, what is your take on this?
So cool. So the Silver Surfer shows up, and I think Silver Surfer looks great. And they have this message. She like gives a message, and it matches with a message that Johnny Storm has. But anyway, that's just so we can talk about that later. But Galactus, I think they did a great job. He's very scary.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
He's so big. And they make it look big without you going, God, this is dumb.
Right. He was a cloud in the other movie, right? You know, it was a little menacing cloud. It was stupid. And they probably figured it would always look stupid, you know, having a big giant dude, you know, coming, you know. No, I thought it was, you know, it's like, how big can he be? He's eating the planet. So they had that ship he was in that actually did the planet thing. It was so well done, and he still had the big dumb hat. He looked just like, it reminded me of Superman, you know, with the characters with the old timey costumes on, and you know, and
you just go, that's it, man, that's the
one. Exactly. Like, and nobody's like looking at each other like, we're gonna buy this shit.
If a man's gonna come eat your planet, you can't make fun of his hat.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not gonna.
So he wanted the boy, you know, and I thought it was interesting, you know.
But that's where maybe remember that I'd read something similar to this, because there is a comic book that we read long ago where one of the children had to stay behind in an alternate reality to like save
Franklin. Yeah, humanity. It was Franklin, but he made this decision himself. Like,
yes, he was older.
Yes, he wasn't like a teenager, but he made the decision to do it. And so they got fantastic stories like this, and you know, Fantastic Four. I like that they were able to leave the planet and go off into the cosmos, because that's how it is in the book. And just because it was in the book and they did it, it didn't make the movie suck. You know, sometimes if you give stuff too much fan service, it like sucks. They did it right, man. You know, and I'm trying to think of something bad to say about the movie. the Silver Surfer was the alternate reality Silver Surfer.
Mhm.
The only thing I could say is that it pretty much looked like the last Silver Surfer they got. I guess how much can you do with a
Yeah, what can you do?
shimmering, person, Um, and she was pretty menacing, man. She was a lot more menacing than the last Silver Surfer they had in the other movie. And I love that actress. She played Ruth on the Ozarks. I always mention her and stuff
Mm.
like that. But she's great, man. And I love how they had Johnny Storm like falling for her. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, I was
he's like,
like,
I know what you're gonna say.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that was one of my favorite parts. I thought that like there were some genuine laughs in this movie,
yeah.
with like by playing on some of the stuff that like both if you didn't know the character you would find funny, and if you kind of know the character a little bit more, maybe than someone just you'd be like, that's right.
Let me ask you a question, Tiff,
Yeah.
because this is how this movie made me feel at times. I love that they had the mole man in this thing. You know what I'm saying?
I love the Mole Man, and then he's kind of like, yeah, okay. That's like
Yeah,
his
I mean,
character is really great.
he's like, I'm subterranean. I'm like, just like the comics. He's just like some loser, And I love that they did like Sue Storm. Like she was like not only smart, and he said they all were the smartest people he knew. And I was like, Johnny and Ben ain't smart, but they that smart. I like that they made they played up their intelligence a little bit. But her brokering peace all over the earth, I was like, it made me feel good, man. I was like,
yes,
well, that's
it's a nice. We're like,
I was
yay,
like,
humanity.
I was like, I wish our planet was like this. And they turn on her, like all crowds do, for the baby. She gets out there and she starts talking. The lady's like, you're so selfish. I'm like, you bitch. That's all I was thinking. I heard that lady. And she was able to talk these people down, and it was a great speech. And I was like, damn, how come our leaders aren't like that? You know what I'm saying? Why is our earth so effed up that we can't stick together for any reason? And, to their credit, they got some superheroes on their planet and maybe things is different.
Right.
But I felt better about that place than I did about our own place.
It was a lovely movie in a way because it does give you that kind of weird, hopeful feeling that maybe we could be like that. You know what I mean? And I think that's the secret behind.
And shouldn't superhero movies do that?
Yeah.
All of them?
Yes. I feel like there was some of that in the Superman movie as well. Like
there was a lot of that in the Superman movie. You felt good walking out of there.
I could be that good. You know what I mean? And so like there's that beautiful idea, and that's the kind of things that we want to dream about when we see superhero larger than life, better than us, representative of us.
When we read comic books, that's what we're doing. I don't want to read a book just every once in a while, maybe some horror, some shit, some place that's worse than what we are. But at the end of the day, man, I don't want shit to just get worse and worse and worse and more cynical and more. And this movie didn't do any of that. Didn't do any of. Nobody could kick Reed's ass and make him feel any worse than he was already feeling for himself. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't need the crowd, throwing shit at him and turn
They're
around.
already like experiencing, and they're sharing a grief with the regular people. It's like, and I want to talk about this movie accomplishes all of this like in under 2 hours.
It did do it under 2 hours. We had a birth in space, which I thought was going to be so weird. I thought it was one of the most. It was one of the most tenderest moments I've ever seen. I mean, in like something like this, especially when I was like, "What the hell, Ben doing leaving the console?" I was like, "Dude, she wide open back there. Give me some privacy, right?" But no, you got somebody got to catch the baby. I mean, they were all involved in it. I was like, "Damn." And then even the baby ended up being cute in the movie. Because sometimes they put them ugly little babies in movies. You'd be like, oh boy, get this little ugly. Egbert is horrible. Please move along.
Egbert.
But no, the whole baby thing, I like the bait with the kid. I like the fight at the end.
I like that didn't work, but they still won. There's like a lot of like soft touches that
shit didn't work. I love that they just kept, like, damn.
But they don't give up. And like that's the thing is like you don't have to have this. Like the turn they did have like you talked about with the child and stuff like that, but we didn't spend half the movie dealing with people hating the Fantastic Four. We didn't deal with a movie where there was a lot of internal conflict with the Fantastic Four other than like normal team conflict. It was not like you get better than me or whatever, stuff like that.
I'm gonna bring up something else that I really like. I like that they could hurt the Silver Surfer and Galactus too. I hate when you got a villain like nothing, just your ass is mine. You're like, what are are you gonna do, right? You know, at least the lasers on the ship can hurt the Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
At
some
least
stuff.
Johnny's
Yes.
blast could hurt the Silver Surfer. At
'Cause then
least
it gives
Johnny's
you
blast.
that, like, are they gonna get it? Are they gonna do it? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It gives you
Johnny was able to
something.
hurt Galactus. Reed was able to hurt Galactus. Sue was. I was like, well, thank God. I hate an invincible hero and villain.
Right.
I hate him. And I
They
think
can
that's
be
why I
hard.
love this new Superman, because I'm like, look, he ain't sitting there like with the bullets bouncing off his chest and getting shot in the eye. I mean, they just go overboard with the invincible. If you have no, if nothing can hurt you, who gives a goddamn? You're not
Right.
brave. You're not brave, dude. You know, you're not. This is just bullshit. You're just a bigger dude than the other person. If no matter what they can do to hurt you, there's no stakes, punk. You know. So I dug this about this movie. I dug the finale. I liked how they worked this whole thing out. I like the Mole Man's contribution at the end. I like how everybody got to, you know, this. Everybody was getting together. I think it was well done, man.
Me
you
too.
know,
I agree. I was shocked because I wasn't expecting to see 2 back-to-back like big superhero movies that were
Yes.
like exciting and good and fun.
Jeff, I'm so elated. I'm like, maybe you at first should First of all, this movie season has been dynamite, and I'm gonna say this because I got so sick over the last 10, 15 years of front loading all the heavy duty movies in May. And about time June get around, it's like over, right? You might get a good movie at July 4th weekend, maybe, you know, and it's just like, and then August would have nothing but they did it this different this year. You know, they're like, what are we doing? As a movie person, I would be like, what am I doing? Why do I have to release on May 5th? You know, what the hell is that? You know, why do I have to come out so early? It ain't even summer yet, you know, but that's what's been going on. Not this year. Actually, the biggest heavies, well, it kind of been all summer long. There's been
They've
movies
got a
and stuff.
slow release. Like, so kind of back to when they used to try not to compete with each other because they wanted all the money.
Why do you got to crush your opponent in order to
Why
win?
can't you just all do it together?
Why do we all win? You know what I'm saying? Why don't we all win? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because some marketing asshole and told this one that this date is optimal for the most revenue to be generated because of these factors. And I think that's why but you do that shit. Your industry is struggling. So you guys did a good thing by stretching it out. And I hope this movie does really well. I want to see more of these characters and these actors in this thing. I want to see more of this world. You know, I don't know if they come to the proper universe. We'll see how that goes. You know, but they'll be like fish out of water because of just how everything is in the Marvel universe. So I loved it. I recommend it,
Me too.
and I'm going to see more of it. I watched the entire Riri Williams, and we need to talk about it thing because it's interesting. Has some good points, has some bad points, has some really good points, has some really shitty points. It's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, there's plenty of shit to see at home, Tiffelbot. It's all kind of stuff that's available. I was like,
time to the fall with a bunch of movies to stream.
Well, it's a ton of stuff that's been released, and I'm like, damn, like, wow, we got a lot of stuff we could do. You know, even this is the last part of the big movie for we got stuff coming out. So we'll tell y'all what we're doing next week. We're gonna start advertising, what we're doing moving forward, and so that we can get our crowds up on this thing. We're still experimenting, and we're perfectly fine with it. We're gonna experiment to the end, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, hopefully this is getting better. Hopefully the quality looks better. If you're watching this on YouTube, sometimes you got to just wait like a minute before it like really looks good. Anyway, I'm the host of Fandom Patrol. My name is Montago. With me is my wonderful co-host, Mr. Tiffelbot. Say goodbye to the people. Tiff.
It's been a pleasure as always.
It has been. And I think that's it, and that's all. And until next week, we will be on
Patrol.
Patrol. Patrol.